that Trump, yesterday, everybody was like, oh my God, what is this? What's this DeepSeek? This company, this Chinese company that has just a few employees. They've come up with some magical thing that is going to revolutionize. Is it? First of all, everything with China, take a grain of salt. Right? Take it with a grain of salt, because I don't know if you're aware of this. In the past, they maybe haven't told the truth. Just putting that out there. On top of that, though, is what they've done. Is this unique? Oh, it totally is. Could it change a lot of things? Absolutely. But when everybody worries about, well, they're catching up to us, I don't care about forward facing. When it comes to this technology, what matters is in the back. And China will always struggle with that because they limit. The one thing that's changed about this is it's open, right? So you're able to go and you're able to grab this. If you have the computing power right now, you can grab the code, throw it on a computer, and away you can go. So it's open source. But is this a big deal? Oh, it's a big deal.
It's an AI model and has a corresponding chatbot like ChatGPT of OpenAI, and it has significantly narrowed the gap between the U.S. and China when it comes to artificial intelligence. DeepSeek is the brainchild of a small group of researchers working for a Chinese hedge fund manager that have been able to produce technology that is on par with OpenAI and Google, even though those companies are sinking billions of dollars and years into development. Meanwhile, DeepSeek did it for cheaper in a couple of months with fewer chips.
Now, the fewer chips is a big deal. That's why NVIDIA yesterday dragged the market down. They lost $600 billion in a day. No company on earth has ever lost that much money in one day. Gone, wiped out. Because you don't need all the stuff. One of the things about AI is the energy suck that it is, and it is an energy suck. You have to have farms. It is not simple and easy. But this thing exists because of the other things, the ChatGPT and all that stuff. Because these are what they call large language models, so they're big. So they grab from everywhere. And they're always learning, they're always doing. This thing is interesting because it reasons, it does certain things. But what it does do is it doesn't store all the stuff like these do. So it's able to go and grab stuff. It's like saying, when I was talking to somebody earlier today who's a buddy of mine, I'm going to try to get him to come on a little bit later or tomorrow to talk about this. If you're like a master, plumber or something like that, you've got an apprentice, you want to get the apprentice through this portion of the job. You've got a job to do. This is what it is. This is how you do it. Go and do it. You don't need to worry about the rest of the stuff. That's what this one does compared to everything else, which is the large language model. They're the masters of everything.
So on January 20th, DeepSeek introduced R1. This is an AI model that reasons, so it can do complex problem solving. It thinks through the problem, essentially. Silicon Valley advisor to President Trump, Mark Andreessen, said, quote, DeepSeek R1 is one of the most amazing and impressive breakthroughs I've ever seen. It's also open source. DeepSeek said training one of its latest models costs just $5.6 million. Compare that to the $100 million that Anthropic used last year.
That's massive, but that's also our money. See, it's hard to compare our money to the rest of the world's money. Our poorest person, in the country, like who lives at the poverty level, paycheck to paycheck, around the globe, you're wealthy. Money looked at differently there. The other thing is, again,
you're in the 1% of international.
Yeah. Here's a perfect example. UK. Just give you guys. UK seems to be a pretty Western country. They would be the poorest state we have.
Wow.
Yeah. They per capita they make less than like Mississippi. No offense to Mississippi, if you're listening, God bless you. I wish you all the best.
Yeah, but they got all that free health care run by government that just puts you in debt.
Yeah. So, and trust me, I've been there with the free health care. 50% of your check being gone kind of sucks. But this is big because of the battle that's going on. I said last week, the whole thing with Stargate, how big that was because as we sit here and we talk about all the other things, the future is not only tomorrow, it is now. The battle of AI is the battle that is going to be the industrial complex of the new military, as well as what's going on in the healthcare world and everywhere else. Because if you can, imagine if we came up with something today that could, solve cancer for the most part. The dominance of the world that we would control. Just because. got to be nice to the Americans. We already do that now because they're always looking for our money. But it's different. It's behind the scenes that you need to worry about. And the other thing is, how much do I trust China? I don't trust China.
DeepSeek's AI model has raised serious questions about American dominance in the space. It has rattled chip stocks because DeepSeek claims to have used just around 2,000 NVIDIA chips to train its V3 model. Compare that to the tens of thousands of chips used for U.S. models. But there are also questions around whether China is underreporting how much money and how much computing power they're using. Skepticism from Elon Musk as well. He says that there's no way they're able to do it with this amount of chips.
No, there's no way. So the open source is interesting. So I'm going to try to get my uncle on a little bit later, too. He's already gone and got it. He's messing around with it. So the worry, though, like people, because this thing's crashed already. It's the number one thing in the app stores already, but it's already crashed. But if you go on there and if you're on the internet and you ask it a question about Xi or China or anything to do with politics, it shuts it down. That's why it could never be. That's why they had to make it open source. Because if they didn't make it open source, they didn't give it to everybody. Go here, you guys can do what you want with it. It would never go anywhere. Because it's restrictions, the thing we talked about, it's restricted. It's the same thing when it comes to their military and many other things. There's only so far they're going to be able to go because of their restriction, because of what they allow. And we don't. It's the beauty of us. We're unlimited. And without our stuff, this never happens. On the other side of things, too, it's behind the scenes that matters. That is the military side of stuff. It's not what you know we have that keeps you awake at night. It's what you don't know we have that keeps you awake at night. And I know we got a lot of stuff because I talk to a lot of people and I know some of the weird stuff. It's not that they're not developing stuff too, but to say that they've caught up instantly or magically this has happened, believe it when you see it long term. I still think it'll be cool. I still think it'll work somewhat, but will it be all the things to all the people that they think and crush? Because that's the other thing. This is for many people a Sputnik moment. And if you don't know what that is, remember Sputnik? They beat us to the space race. They beat us up there, and that changed everything.
What I need to know is the doll. Can the doll cook for me yet?
Not yet. We're getting there. Those dolls are pretty good. So there's a new movie out called Companion, by the way. It's coming out. When you start thinking about these dolls that everybody talks about, these AI dolls, you better watch out because she learns she's a doll, and let's just say she's not happy.
And then she starts nagging you to take her out on Fridays and you just want to stay home and watch the game.
She divorces you and takes the toaster because they're having an affair.
That's brilliant.
Oh, my goodness me. So.